town hall in Miami yesterday, Joe Biden gave a much different message about the coronavirus than the one coming out of the White House. Take a look.
I would hope that the president, having gone through what he went through, and I'm glad he seems to be coming along pretty well, would communicate the right lesson to the American people. Masks matter. These masks, they matter. It matters. It saves lives. It prevents the spread of the disease. I hope no one walks away with the message thinking that it is not a problem. It's a serious problem. Look, anybody who contracts the virus by essentially saying masks don't matter, social distancing doesn't matter, I think is responsible for what happens to them.
So the question is, what is it going to take to get traction with either side with voters? Joy, I'll start with you.
Well, you just have to watch the two candidates. You have one, Biden, who's been wearing a mask and who does not have coronavirus. And you have the other one who has not been wearing it, who has gotten the disease. Of course, the Republicans are twisting it around to say that, oh, now Trump knows what it's like. So that's a superior position or something. So let's say you want to cure malaria. The best way to cure it is to get it yourself, I guess. It's insane. One point that I would make about Biden, because I watched the town hall, and he's always so touching to me because of the terrible losses that he has endured over his life. And so here's a man who lost two children, and a wife, and he could not protect them. One was an accident, the other was cancer, and he couldn't protect them. And now when he speaks like this and he says, I wear the mask to protect others, it's coming from such a deep place, such an important place. Mm-hmm. And that's the difference between the two of them, as far as I see it.
Yeah.
Big difference.
What do you think, Sarah? Yeah. What do you think, Sarah?
I think people are craving what we used to associate with presidential, someone who can express compassion while doubling down on science. This is a man who immediately after hearing the news of the president and first lady sent out a tweet of compassion and well wishes. He pulled negative ads. He refused to criticize him while he's been sick. He did so many things that were above, like raising the bar, and it's what we used to think of a president. So I think people miss this civility, this diplomacy, this compassion and humanity. And here's a man who doubles down on science and puts his mask on. And to me, that's the ultimate sign of strength.
Right. And what about you, Sonny? Your husband is a surgeon. What do you think?
Well, I know that masks matter. I know that science matters. Manny and I talk about this all the time. The mask is to protect others. You use it to protect others, and then you hope that someone else is your keeper. You are your brother's keeper, and then someone else will wear the mask to protect you, because we are truly in this together. When it comes to the question of what voters will think, don't forget that President Trump was filming a campaign video in Walter Reed and in front of the White House when he took off his mask. Think about that. He was using his diagnosis as an opportunity to campaign. What does that say about him as a person? What does that say?
Well, I'm going to say this again. For those of you who may get the virus, who have the virus, you are not him. They are not going to treat you the way that they treat him. He is the head of the country, and so he has access to a gazillion doctors. Unless you are very wealthy, you may not have the same access. Don't fall for the okie doke. Don't fall for it. You are not more manly because you can rip the mask off. There are a lot of folks that were really manly, who are more manly than anybody I know, who died from this, okay? So it doesn't care if you're manly or if you're more feminine. If you don't take care of yourself, if you don't wear a mask, if you get sick and you think you're going to be immune, you're not. The sickness doesn't care what your political leanings are. Remember that. It doesn't care. It will kill either side. It doesn't, as we've seen. A lot of people died. Didn't matter what their leanings were. We'll be